Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, text number 29. Jadanda Mukha Badhira Pishachon Madakavat Avadhuta Vesho Avadhuta Vesho Bhibhashyamanopi Jananam Grihita Maunavrataha Tushnim Bhabhuva. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word Avadhuta refers to one who does not care for social conventions, particularly the Varnashrama Dharma. However, such a person may be situated fully within himself and be satisfied with the Supreme Personality of Godhead on whom he meditates. In other words, one who has surpassed the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma is called Avadhuta. Such a person has already surpassed the clutches of Maya and he lives completely separate and independent. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, in this chapter called Rishabhadeva's teachings, we are reading about Rishabhadeva's teachings to his sons and to all of humanity. And in this particular verse, Shukadeva Goswami is describing, after giving those instructions to his sons, how he left home and he was traveling around the world, and what was his situation. In fact, he is continuing to instruct. He instructed verbally before. Now he is continuing to instruct by his practice. Jada, Andha, Mukha, Badhira, Pishacha, Unmadakavat. He was jada, like a stone, andha, blind, mukha, dumb, not speaking, badhira, deaf, pishacha, like a ghost, unmadaka, a madman, vat, like. And Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Avadhuta Veshaha. In this way, he took the form of an Avadhuta. Prabhupada has nicely described, Avadhuta means one who has no more, one who does not care for social conventions. Having no material concern with them, having no concern with the material world. Avadhuta Veshaha Abhibhashyamanaha Jananam Abhibhashyamananam. And people would look at him and say, hey, look at him, dull fellow, madman, ghost, dumb, deaf, blind. And although he was being ridiculed like that by people, Grihita Mauna Vrataha. He was practicing Mauna Vrata. He did not respond. tushnim babhuva. He remained silent. He did not respond. He did not get into some argument with them, anybody. After accepting the feature of Avadhuta Veshaha, a great saintly person without material cares. That's the meaning of Avadhuta. Lord Rishabhadeva passed through human society like a blind andha, deaf badhira, and dumb man mukha, an idle stone jadha, a ghost pishacha, or a madman unmadaka. Although people called him such names, jananam abhibhashyamanopi, he remained silent, tushnim bhabhuva, and did not speak to anyone. Grihita mauna vrataha. In 1970, Srila Prabhupada had brought many of his Western disciples to India. And he would take them around different parts of the country and to show them Indian culture. He wanted them to understand about India. Not only holy places, because there were many preaching engagements for Srila Prabhupada. So he would take them to different places. He took them to Surat. He took them to Ahmedabad. He took them to Amritsar. He took them to Indore. Different places. Took them to Madras also, in South India. So in 1970, Prabhupada had taken his disciples and gone to Indore. And morning they would have program where Prabhupada was staying. And then during the day, his disciples would go do kirtan or would go and distribute books or enroll life members. You may know that story, how Srila Prabhupada enrolled or how Srila Prabhupada introduced, and the first life member was made in Indore. I won't go to that story, we'll keep it for another day. So, when Prabhupada was in Indore in December of 1970, there was one sadhu who would come and associate with the devotees. And he was an educated man, and he spoke English, and somehow he had gone to America and come back. So these were his credentials. And he would come and talk to Prabhupada in English and Hindi. He would talk to the disciples in English. And sometimes he would come and meet Prabhupada and become little overly familiar. Devotees were a little uncomfortable with that, but they couldn't tell him anything, and Prabhupada was talking to him and tolerating him. So, then one day the devotees had gone to a program, lunch program somewhere, and they found that after the lunch, this sadhu, he was known as Vairagi Baba. So he was like a Baba with beard and saffron dress. So after lunch, they saw Vairagi Baba drinking tea. And Srila Prabhupada's training is that we don't take coffee or tea. So one devotee, Western devotee, little bit innocently and with a little bit of challenge also. Vairagi Baba, you're drinking tea. You're not supposed to drink tea. He said like that. So Vairagi Baba is stroking his beard. He said, no, I am a Avadhuta. And those Western devotees, they didn't know what that Avadhuta means. What? Avadhuta. He said like that. So they didn't want to annoy him further. So they came to Srila Prabhupada and told Prabhupada, he said he is some Avadhuta. What does that mean? And then Prabhupada explained to them, Avadhuta means somebody who does not care for social conventions and who is beyond material cares. And such a person, very advanced spiritually, Paramahamsa stage and even higher than Paramahamsa stage. And such a person is called an Avadhuta, and definitely Vairagi Baba does not qualify to be called Avadhuta. So, like this, in our country, people pick up different ideas from different parts of the scriptures and hypnotize or hallucinate that now I have become Avadhuta and I can drink tea, I can do anything. Does not matter. So, here, Rishabhadeva, the Supreme Lord, he wanted to set an example. He wanted to teach about Paramahamsa Dharma. What the highest level of, in the Chaturvarna, Brahmanas are the most respected. And in the Chatur Ashramas, the sannyasis are most respected. And in sannyas, the Paramahamsa stage is the highest. And what are the qualifications? What are the features of Paramahamsa Dharma? Rishabhadeva wanted to teach and set an example. So he is Jada, Anda, Muka, Bhadira, Pishacha, Unmadaka, Avadhuta Veshaha. Abhibhashyamanopi janana grihita maunavrataha tushnim babhuva. He took the vow of silence and did not bother to answer anybody. This is Avadhuta feature. Now, there is a reference to Avadhuta feature or nearly such a feature in the Bhagavad Gita. How people misunderstand this. This is in the very early stage, in the second chapter of the Gita. Because second chapter of the Gita practically tells everything what is there in the Gita. That's why Bhaktivedanta Thakur called this chapter Contents of the Gita Summarized. So Krishna begins to speak this verse, which I will read. And soon after this verse, Arjuna asked the question, Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha, samadhisthasya keshava, Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta, kim asita prajeta kim. The symptoms of a self-realized soul, of an advanced spiritualist. Arjuna is going to ask very soon after this verse. So in other words, these are the verses which are triggering the thoughts in Arjuna's mind. Because after this verse, there is one more verse, and then Arjuna asks that question. You see? So Krishna is talking about an advanced stage. Yadate moha kalilam. 2:52. Yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati. Tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Moha kalilam. Kalila is a dense forest. Moha Kalila is a dense forest of illusion. Yada te moha kalila, when your te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati, when your intelligence, when your understanding has vyatitarishyati, has gone beyond, vyatitarishyati, surpasses. What surpasses? Buddhi vyatitarishyati. Buddhi can mean intelligence, it means understanding of life. How do you understand? What is life all about? Your understanding has surpassed. What has it surpassed? Moha kalilam vyatitarishyati. Then what happens? In the next line, Krishna is saying, Tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Shrotavyasya cha shrutasya cha. Tada, at that time, when the buddhi has vyatitarishyati, moha kalilam vyatitarishyati, tada, at that time, shrotavyasya shrutasya cha nirvedam gantasi. Shrutasya cha, what you have heard. Shrotavyasya cha, what is to be heard. Everything you have heard and everything you have not yet heard but to be heard, you become nirvedam. You become indifferent. You become callous. You don't care anymore. Nirvedam gantasi, you become. Yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. All Vedic instructions you might have heard, and maybe some more instructions you have, but you become indifferent to all of them. Oh, that is why I can drink tea also. Does not matter. I heard tea should not be drunk. Smoking should not be done. I heard all that. Now I become indifferent to all that because moha kalilam vyatitarishyati. Who told you? Who certified that? I certified that myself. So, this actually points out, these are, you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught certain things from the Shastra. Everything Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught was from the Shastra. But till then it had not been properly understood. And Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put a spotlight on those ideas and those concepts, which is there in the Vedic literature. Here, this is about this verse from the Bhagavad Gita. It is talking about anartha nivrutti, and when one has, after anartha nivrutti, what comes? Nishtha comes. When one, after nishtha, what comes? Ruchi comes. And from ruchi comes asakti. Asakti comes bhava. And bhava leads to prema. So, when anartha nivritti happens, and some of these stages, they overlap also in a sadhaka's development. When a certain amount of anartha nivritti has happened, he becomes nishtha. Nishtha means very fixed, won't change. See? When anartha's nivritti is happening gradually, you will start seeing the devotee very strict, very strong. Nothing can change him. Very fixed in his service, in his sadhana, in his understanding. Won't get shaken so easily. Nishtha begins to manifest. And that nishtha, next, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, one gets ruchi, taste. When there is ruchi, asakti, attachment, this is all called rati stage. Attraction has come now for Krishna. Before that, it was Vaidhi Bhakti. It was Bhakti, the devotee was doing Bhakti. He would rise early, he would chant, and he would read, and he would preach, he would do service. Because Prabhupada has told. And repeatedly he has to keep hearing. Prabhupada said like this, Prabhupada said like this. That will inspire him. He has to remind himself. But when anartha nivritti has happened, to some extent at least, he becomes nishtha. And then comes ruchi and asakti. Now an attraction has come for Krishna. That attraction pulls him to be nishtha, to follow the regulative principles. So at that time, even though there are no rules are told to him, he anyway follows the rules. That is the meaning of saying nirvedam. He has become indifferent to all that has been heard and to be heard, because he is naturally situated in that stage now. Prabhupada gives the example, when the child is very small, when the parents are sending him to the school, he doesn't like to go to the school, he cries. In a very early stage, we would have all of us would have done that. When we were being sent to the school, no, I want to go back to the home. But parents would forcibly put us in the school, and the child sits there alone, waiting, thinking of, because only father, mother and the child has seen. Now suddenly seeing so many children and some new teacher, unfamiliar. So initially that resistance is there, but after some time, child will come on its own to the school at the right time, sit and do his lessons, because he has developed some understanding, some seriousness about all this. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu points out that bhakti is practiced like Vaidhi Bhakti according to vidhis, but after a certain practice that anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti should come about, and an attraction for practicing Krishna consciousness will come about. It is aroused because it's there in the heart. It is now covered up. So slowly that covering is getting cleared, and that original attraction for Krishna is being aroused. When I remember when I was in college and studying as a devotee, when I heard this concept, I was very relieved. Because I used to think whole life I have to struggle chanting, struggle getting up. No, we'll come to a stage, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is assuring, where we will be drawn to these things. You see, one day, it may take many lifetime also, doesn't matter, but one day I'll be drawn to Krishna. You see, that was such a relieving thought. Otherwise, I was thinking, maybe life after life, only under stick I have to practice. Showing the stick, I have to be strict about practicing Krishna. No, you take away the stick also, sadhaka will be attracted to Krishna. We will come to that stage. See, this attraction, that is a very important principle. Attraction. It is not just, no, it's my rule, I have made a taken a vow, what to do, I'm getting attracted to other things. No. I have to struggle, I have to hold my sense. No, that's there, that is required, that's a phase. But at least theoretically we know, when we are sufficiently qualified, Guru and Krishna will bless us with that attraction to Krishna, where we will be drawn to Krishna. Just like now I am drawn away from Krishna to material sense objects. In the same way, or with even greater intensity, because this is after all illusion, I'll be drawn to Krishna. So such a stage exists. And when you are drawn to Krishna like that, those regulative principles are not, it's not the stick. Stick is there or not there, doesn't matter. I will be following Krishna consciousness. Sadhaka will be following Krishna consciousness. At that time, you become indifferent to the stick. That's what Krishna is saying. Shrotavyasya shrutasya cha nirvedam gantasi. Not that you'll take to go back to sinful activities like our Vairagi Baba was doing. You'll not go back to sinful. You don't need those regulations and vidhi. Even without that, you are attracted to Krishna. That is what Krishna is pointing out here. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport writes one very nice verse of Madhavendra Puri. You see, this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grand guru is Madhavendra Puri, right? Ishwar Puri, and his guru is Madhavendra Puri. By that time already, these Raganuga Bhakti ideas have started coming in the parampara. So Madhavendra Puri wrote a verse about this, how Srotavyasya Shrutasya cha nirvedam gantasi, how you become indifferent to that. And he quotes this verse. Sandhya vandanam bhadramastu bhavato bho snanatubhyam namo bho devaha pitarascha tarpana vidho naham kshamaha kshamyatam yatra kvapi nishadhya yadava kulottamasya kamsadvishaha smaram agham harami tadalam manye kim anyena me. He's saying, Sandhya Vandhanam Bhadramastu. Sandhya Vandhanam means that Sandhya Vandhana, Gayatri, that Brahmanas do 3 times, 3 Sandhya. He's saying, Sandhya Vandhanam Bhadramastu, all auspiciousness unto you, Sandhya Vandhanam. Sorry, I won't do any of those. Good for you, may you be very Bhadramastu, like may you be very Bhadra, very good for you. Bhavato boho snana tubhyam namo. And you have to take 3 times snana, bhat. Tubhyam namo, goodbye to you. Bho devaha pitarascha tarpana vidho. Oh, devatas, some puja you have to do for the devatas, and pitru you have to give tarpana. Kshamaha kshamyatam, please pardon me. I can't engage in any of those now. Why? You are saying all those things. Sandhya vandanam bhadramastu, snanat namotubhyam, and devaha pitara tarpana vidho. doing all the vidhana of tarpana, all those things. Naham kshamaha. I won't be able to do that. Please forgive me. Kshamyatam. Yatra kwapi nishadhya, whenever I sit, wherever I sit. Yadava kulottamasya kamsadvishaha. Yadava kulottama. Krishna. Kamsadvishaha. Enemy of Kamsa. Smaram. I am remembering again and again Krishna. I am always remembering Krishna. Yadava kulottama. Kamsadvishaha. Smaram. And by remembering him, Agham harami. Agham is sinful reactions. Harami, they're all going away. Tadalam manye kim anyena me. What else do I need? All the tarpana, all that was Agham harami for that case, reason only. Now I have become attracted to Krishna. I don't need any of those. You see, nirvedam, indifferent to all sandhya vandanam, snanam, deva puja, tarpana, pitara tarpana, all I am becoming indifferent. I'll read the translation. O Lord, in my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. Bhadramastu. Bathing, snana, I offer my obeisance unto you. O demigods, devaha, pitaraha, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer my respects. Tarpana vidho. Now, wherever I sit, yatra kvapi nishadhya, I can remember the great descendant of Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. Agham harami. I think this is sufficient for me. Kim anyena me. So, this is an advanced stage of devotional practice when one is attracted to Krishna and one does not have to carry out these. Now you see here, Snana Tubhyam, Rishabhadeva also has said goodbye to Snana, all those things. He's like a madman. But of course, in the Rishabhadeva's case, he is Lord himself, playing the role of a Avadhuta Vesha. And being indifferent to all these things. Actually, most important thing is Avadhuta stage. They become indifferent to material cares. Because in the outside world, people, how they care for us, how they look upon us, it's very important. So now, someone may feel very inspired. Yes. Jada, Andha, Mukha, Bhadira, Pishacha, Unmala, Mukhavat. Let's also become like this now. No bathing at all. Can we do that? No, we cannot imitate these stages. This is not permitted. You are not allowed to imitate. This is Paramahamsa Dharma, this is. We are not Paramahamsas. We are neophytes. So, for us, how to follow, the Guru tells. And that is the method, rules, regulations given by the spiritual master, which we should follow. We should not imitate this. This is a very advanced stage. The Lord was doing that to set an example of real Avadhutas. We will see more. You will be surprised to read if you have not read this before. These parts of the Bhagavatam. What Rishabhadeva displayed. Very, very exalted. Completely out of bodily concept of life. Completely disconnected, nothing to do, and absorbed in transcendence. For us, what we have to do, Srila Prabhupada has given. How to practice all these principles in its essence, in a way that's applicable to us. How we should do, Prabhupada has taught. We have to rise early in the morning, have bath, come to the temple for Mangalarati, chant with the devotees, read Bhagavatam, Guru Puja, do service, eat in a regulated way. We will see what he was eating, Rishabhadeva. Not like yesterday's feast we had. 52 items. Out of question. You see? So, we don't have to. Thankfully, we don't have to imitate. We can have a good feast. So now, this kind of rules and regulations, method, how we practice, the Guru gives that according to time, place and circumstance. That, what the Guru gives in the form of rules, regulations, methods, that constitutes the seed of bhakti. That's called Bhakti Lata Bija. So Srila Prabhupada has given a certain Bhakti Lata Bija and described it in this way. 16 rounds, 4 regulative principles, Mangalarati, reading his books, doing service, doing Kirtana. That is the seed. You see, if you get a Karela seed, you will get a Karela plant and you will get bitter Karelas. If you get a mango seed, you will get a mango plant and you will get mango fruit. Sweet fruits. Different according to the seed. Now, Srila Prabhupada has created a bhakti seed for this age, and if we practice that, that seed will grow and Bhakti Lata will grow and will give bhakti to us. The creeper of bhakti will grow. That Bhakti Lata Bija constitutes rules, regulations, methods, do's and don'ts that have been prescribed for a sadhaka in a certain time and circumstance, and by doing that, bhakti develops. You see, that's why nobody can change these things. Can anyone say, from tomorrow we are changing the rules in ISKCON, instead of 16 rounds, 10 rounds are enough? Nobody can change. From tomorrow we are going to cancel Mangalarati. Mangalarati is not very inconvenient. Let's get up at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock we will have Mangalarati. Nobody can change these things. Prabhupada has given strictly. That's why Prabhupada is the giver of Bhakti Lata Bija. In ISKCON, he is the giver of Bhakti Lata Bija. No one can change these things. That's why we always refer. What did Prabhupada say? Oh, Nityananda's appearance day. When we should break fast, what did Prabhupada say? We don't make up rules. Rules are all given by Srila Prabhupada. We strictly follow that. See. Next, another important thing is we have to appreciate how much the Lord is concerned about human society. He himself is coming as Rishabhadeva, giving teachings. He was ruler, he was king, he was in a palace. Next, he wanted to set an example, what he was teaching. He wanted to show by his personal practice. Walks out of the palace. Jada, Andha, Mukha, Bhadira, Pishacha, Unmahadakavad, Avadhuta Veshaha. Abhibhashyamanopi. So people were making fun of him. Hey, Mukha, look at him. See, a dumb fellow, Jada, Andha, blind man, Pishacha. Hey, look at him. Because his dress was like that. We saw yesterday in the previous verse. What was his verse? What was his dress? Gagana paridhanaha. Gagana paridhanaha. Dhanaha means, dhana, not dana. Dhana is chest. Paridhana means wrapped around the chest, going around the chest. What he had wrapped around the chest? Gagana, the sky, which means he had nothing on his body. That's why that's called Digambara, also means the same. Ambara means dress. Dik is the Ambara. Directions are his Ambara. There's no dress. So, this is how he was walking around, completely indifferent, to set an example. See the Supreme Lord doing this, Krishna doing this, Vishnu doing this. Why? He wants to impress. Don't be after all these big things in this world. I remember, I'll just share this bit point. I remember for a very early stage, when I was still in college, I came in touch with Krishna consciousness. So I would read these books, Prabhupada's books. And when you are in college, the most important thing is your marks and grades and doing well, all that. I was always bothered. So then I read in Prabhupada's, in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, knowledge. Oh, knowledge. As students, we are all after knowledge. And the first two items that Krishna mentions was very perplexing to me. Amanitvam, adhambitvam. Being humility and pridelessness. Krishna describes a long list and then he says, etad gnanam. All these constitute knowledge. So I used to wonder, humility and pridelessness, how is this knowledge? If I am trying to be humble and prideless, will I pass my exam? Will the answers come in this when I go and sit in the exam? This used to bother me. I used to think about it, even after that, after joining ISKCON also. Now, you see, actually Prabhupada has explained in the purport very nicely. Humility and pridelessness. These are two different things. Humility, and then comes amanitva, mana, respect. Amana, amanina mana dena, don't care for respect. Dambha, show off. Adhambitvam, no showing off, pridelessness. These are two different things. So Prabhupada explains, as far as knowledge outlined here, the items may be analyzed as follows. First, humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. Wonderful definition. Humility, one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. But from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge, who knows that he is not this body, anything, honor or dishonor, pertaining to this body is useless. One should not be hankering after this material deception. People are very anxious to be the next. You see, sometimes Prabhupada, it flows from one to the other. The next sentence onwards, it is about pridelessness, adhambitvam. Till here it was amanitvam, explanation of amanitvam, humility. Humility is, one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. Because the material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. It's the material conception. that ignorance. But from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge who knows that he is not this body, anything, honor or dishonor pertaining to this body is useless. One should not be hankering after this material deception. This honor-dishonor paradigm. Oh, I must be honored. Oh, they should not dishonor me. There should not be any disrespect for me. And to be anxious about this. This is lack of humility. This is a result of material conception of life. This is because we are getting deceived by Maya. You see? Getting deceived by Maya. And hence, this is an aspect of knowledge. Somebody who is knowledgeable, somebody who is enlightened, who understands that I am not the body, he does not care for honor and dishonor connected with this body. Just like here, Rishabhadeva, he doesn't care. They are making fun of him. He's not bothered. He's in another world. He's in transcendence. You see? Now you see the connection between jnana and amanitvam. All the honor and dishonor I gave for this body, where is it? Has any value? Sometime back I was thinking about this because I came across one devotee, he is so sticky about honor and dishonor. Sometimes devotees become, I should not be dishonored, I should be honored properly, I should be respected properly, I should be in the rightly situated in the society. Because in our temple also we are careful about older devotees, honor, discipline. But at heart we should not be hankering for any of those. Out of social convention, those things may be given. We may have to accept. But in the heart, we should not be hankering. See the words Prabhupada has used. This is what material conception does. We will be hankering for respect and honor. That is illusion. The material world is cheating us. So I was thinking about this some months back, and all of a sudden on the mobile, this YouTube keeps suggesting something. P.V. Narasimha Rao addresses the joint session in the United States of America. That video came up. So I thought, okay, what's this P.V. Narasimha Rao? I thought only Narendra Modi, he went recently and he spoke the joint session. No. Earlier also Prime Minister of our country had gone. And so all the people are waiting. And then the speaker announces, His Excellency, Prime Minister of the Sovereign Republic of India, P.V. Narasimha Rao. An American, he cannot say it properly. Anyway, he said it at least. Now shall arrive. And then he is coming. And then people are all standing up and they are clapping. And then he comes and stands in that place, podium, just like you must have seen Narendra Modi. Same way, he's standing and people are clapping for him also. Because, Indian Prime Minister is respected because India is the biggest democracy, highly respected in the world. And he's been elected like that. And he's nodding and he's acknowledging. And they are clapping and then everybody sits down. And then he speaks sometimes they all stand up and applaud. After P.V. Narasimha Rao retired, his term got over, he had come to our temple. We took him to the boardroom. We showed him about Akshay Patra. And then we made him serve. He was an old man by then. And then afterwards, sometime, he passed away also. Now I was thinking, all that people clapping, everything, is anything of any help for him? It has any value? It's all gone. So, like this, in this world, all this honor, dishonor comes and goes. We should not be affected by these things. Not to be affected means we have to be out of the bodily conception of life, material conception of life. I am this body, I must be honored. That's why Krishna is saying amanitvam. And he is showing here as Rishabhadeva what is amanitvam. Not caring for anybody, any social convention, people making fun of him, not bothered. Just see to what extent Krishna goes to teach humanity. Because this amanitvam, adambitvam, this jnana, to become indifferent, all those things, these are all the stages to come to the transcendental stage. And only in the transcendental stage, we can come in touch with Krishna, connect with Krishna, associate with Krishna. He wants us to come back to the spiritual world, be with Him. And if we have to do that, that's why in the 14th chapter, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, now I will tell you, Arjuna, by which sadharmyam agataha. You and I, we will come to the same stage, same state of existence. I will teach you that knowledge. That's how Krishna begins the 14th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Idam gnanam upashritya mama sadharmyam agataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha. Whether there is creation, whether there is dissolution, you will not be disturbed. I will teach you that knowledge. Idam gnanam upashritya, that knowledge, when you are situated in that knowledge, under the shelter of that knowledge, mama sadharmyam agataha. You and me, we will become same dharma, same quality. Because without coming to Krishna's quality, we cannot associate with Krishna, with material consciousness. He wants to elevate our consciousness to transcendental consciousness. All these instructions are for that. See the extent to which Krishna goes. He is personally coming, showing what is Avadhuta Vesha as Rishabhadeva. And he is speaking the Bhagavad Gita. And we need the help of a guru to follow all these things in spirit in our present times. We cannot imitate all these things. For us, Srila Prabhupada said, dress nicely, have nice tilak, have a clean shaved head, and go out and preach, appear like a respectable person, and so that people will listen to us and they tell them about, we are not the body, we are spirit, soul, we should surrender to Krishna. This is our role. This is what we are supposed to do. So, like this, Lord, doing all these things just to enlighten human society. You're running after honor, dishonor, all these kind of things. None of this. It's a deception. It's a cheating. Maya is cheating us. Whole life I've been working on honor. Whole life I got cheated by Maya. This is what Prabhupada is writing. This is a material deception. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.